It is now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings. Our first review of the night is actually two movie reviews in one. This is the 1957 film Attack of the Mayan Mummy, or Attack of the Aztec Mummy in Mexico. And we're also doing Attack of the Aztec Mummy versus the Robot. That's from 1958. That's the second one.
A monstrous nightmare of terror turned loose in a fight to the death.
The Robot versus the Aztec Mummy.
They will bring you a night of terror. We dare you to see them, but don't come alone.
Alright, Dwayne, now we're doing the two movies, the 1957 film Attack of the Mayan Mummy or Aztec Mummy, and we're doing the Aztec Mummy versus the Robot. Did you like these Mexican horror film classics from the 1950s?
Not really. No, I got into watching them, and the first thing that's on that DVD is like a collection of like a recap of both movies. And I watched
Well, that was actually part of the third film.
It was first on the DVD set, so.
Yeah. So the DVD thing we got is from Retro Drive-In. They put the fucking movies in wrong order. So this is a trilogy, right? There's a second one called Booty Revenge of the Aztec Mummy or something. So there's three. This one has movies 1 and 3, but they put it in fucking third movie first, then the first movie. Whoever Retro Drive-In presents, I guess their name's probably Retro Drive-In, but they don't give a fuck because let's just throw the third movie on, then we'll throw the first movie in. They don't give a fuck. I know, it's pure fucking lazy. Now this ain't the movie's fault. There was no DVDs back then, so it couldn't have been the movie's fault. It was his DVD, and then they kind of, so I watched the third movie first, not knowing it was related, because I was like, well, Aztec Mummy and Mayan Mummy, hell, that's fucking two different areas. They can't be, turns out they are related. And then so, the way I watched it, I watched the third movie first, which recapped the first two movies in the trilogy. And so time I got to that done, and then the first movie in the trilogy appeared, I was like, well, fuck, I know what happens. You know, it kind of really, it didn't look, it was kind of boring anyway. It didn't really matter. You know, lots of talking in these films too, and very little monster action. How much minutes do you think those monsters got?
That wasn't on long. I know the first movie, The Attack of the Aztec Mummy, they're having it where they're finally, after like 45 minutes to an hour, they're finally getting to the Aztec Mummy, and they start talking about him being there, and it shows him like run into like the tomb, and the Aztec Mummy's there. Then it cuts away, and it shows people in London talking and stuff.
Yes. Oh my God.
We're finally getting some action in the movie, and it cuts away to people. I wonder how that expedition is going in Mexico. You know, we're like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's bad writing. Also, like in the third film, the Aztec Mummy versus the Robot, the movie is 1 hour and 4 minutes long. Guess at what point they got into a fight?
58 minutes.
No, it's like 1 hour to 1 hour and 2 minutes into the fucking film. They actually finally, there's a big show. Imagine watching Freddy versus Jason, and then they don't meet until the last 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck? And then, like, there was no build up to the fight. The robot just happened to be there. The robot didn't get introduced into the 45-minute mark or 50-minute mark. And also on top of that, you got a whole 30-minute recap to start the film. It was just, this whole thing is a clusterfuck. Now, you could say, well, Sean, this movie came out in the 50s, blah blah blah. Nosferatu came out in 1922, and that fucking thing, it just flowed so much better. Nosferatu looked awesome. Now I admit, the Aztec mummy did look cool.
He did. The actual mummy looked good.
The robot looked like ass.
Robot's cardboard boxes with the guy's face in it.
Yes, he looked like the Cartman robot from South Park.
Awesome-o.
Awesome-o, yes, Awesome-o. That's what it fucking looked like. It was ridiculous. Fun fact, Mystery Science Theater, was it 3000?
Yeah.
They actually covered the third one. That's
Oh, really?
the Aztec mummy versus the robot. Yeah.
I missed that one.
And it was in their first season, I believe, they did it. And I can see why they would make fun of this film. It is just lots of boring shit. And they didn't put the second film into the DVD collection, which looked pretty cool because on the flashback, it actually showed like the mummy beat up a bunch of gangsters, like burned a guy's face. He like fucking, was it German's suplex? Not German. Was it the gorilla press slam? Like he picks this guy up, threw him into a pit of snakes. I was like, that's what I want to see. So,
Yeah, then they're like, the guy's not there. Oh, he must have escaped through a side counter or a side door in a snake pit or something. It was
yeah, because he lived through that.
Yeah, he lands in a pit of vipers, and all of a sudden, like, he's not there. Oh, there's a hole in the damn wall. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Horrible.
But he gets killed at the end of the third one. He kind of backs him and the burned up guy into a corner, and I don't know what the fuck he does to him. I guess he maybe like strangles him real quick. Holy shit, it's a mess. And so basically the plot is a guy, he finds an ancestor of a woman who was sacrificed by the Aztecs years ago, and she's able to maybe help locate ancient Aztec treasure to help prove his study. And I think also he's trying to like figure out that using ancestors or the ancestors of people from the past can help you bring up memories of their ancestors. Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to do. And they end up finding the mummy's tomb, and yeah, I don't know. That's basically the whole fucking plot. And they stretched that plot out for 3 films. Apparently there might be another one where he fights some luchadors or something. I don't know. That one sounds like it's a lot better than this shit. Dwayne, can you talk? What did you like and not like about this film?
So there's a little bit like the actual mummy looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
The design on that looked good. I know they're talking about sacrificing the girl, and then usually that stuff like that doesn't happen. The girl gets saved, but no, they sacrifice that girl. They talked about the treasure being like a golden chest plate or something like that, and stuff. And it's not a horrible concept on this stuff. It's just really bad movies.
It's boring. Lots of talk.
Boring, a little bit of action, and it's just a guy going like this or something, and they show over his shoulder and somebody falls down in front of it. It's just bad. It's just
yeah. There was I guess I know they have like the standards and practices back then, but you could do it better. Like, I mean, like a lot of times they do like shadows, stuff with tricks with shadows to help imply what's happening. That would have been better than what they did in this case. And I also like the third one's called the Aztec Mummy vs. the Robot, but like it just kind of happens, and like, you know, and the robot came out of nowhere. They go to the evil bad guy's lab, and he goes, "I've got a robot," and they're trying to get revenge on the mummy, and the mummy just beats the shit out of the robot. They kind of tussle, but it's like the most awkward tussle I've ever seen, and eventually like the mummy just rips the arms off and destroys the robot. It was super lame. I wasn't expecting much, but fuck, something better. What do you think of the big fight?
I think it was horrible.
Alright, Dwayne, final thoughts and grade.
Final Thoughts is not a very good movie, but better than Decoder.
Okay, now don't forget to rate them separately.
Oh, okay. Well, they're both going to get big old number 2s from me.
2 big old 2s. Oh, shit.
I don't give 2 shits about those movies.
I I feel bad for Mexico because I went cheap. I was like, well, here's the double feature.
Your fault.
Here's the double feature. There's 2 movies in one. I only have to buy 1 movie for the price of 2. I was like, let's try it out. Maybe that's cool. And it says, retro drive-in. I thought these would be cool. And I was wrong. Here are my pros and cons for these 2 films. The pros. Cool mummy design. The cons. Bad robot design. Very, very, very boring. Lots of talking. The third movie was just was 30 minutes of a flashback to the first 2 films. Lame fight with the robot and the mummy. The fight didn't come to the hour, past the hour mark in the hour and 4-minute film. Alright, so here's my final score for Attack of the Mayan Mummy or Aztec Mummy. I'm going to give it a stinky pile of shit, a 2 out of 10. And for the robot versus the Aztec Mummy, I'm also giving a number 2 stinky pile of shit out of 10.
Excuse me.